Love x Revenge is a place where destinies collide, secrets rise from silence, and love is tested by power, pride, and fate. Here you will hear emotional stories about unexpected meetings, hidden truths, painful betrayals, and miracles that change lives forever. Every story is inspired by real feelings and dramatic moments, where one decision can destroy everything, or create something extraordinary. The marketplace was loud, chaotic, and full of colors. Vendors shouted prices, children ran between stalls, and the air smelled of spices, dust, and sun-warmed metal. People came here to buy and sell, to bargain, to survive. For most, it was just another ordinary day. For her, it was the last day of hope. She stood near a small wooden stall, her hands trembling slightly as she held a worn piece of cloth. Her name was Amina. She was young, but her eyes carried a tired depth that made her seem older than her years. Around her neck hung a simple silver necklace, her only possession that still connected her to a past she barely remembered. The sign above her stall was small and handwritten. It didn't explain much. It didn't need to. People walked past her, some curious, some indifferent, some judgmental. A few stopped, asked questions, then left with uncomfortable expressions. Amina had learned not to look at them for too long. Hope hurt more than disappointment. Then everything changed. A convoy of black cars stopped near the marketplace. The noise slowly faded as people turned their heads. Everyone knew what that meant. Only one kind of man arrived like that. The sheikh stepped out of the car calmly, his presence commanding silence without a single word. He was tall, dignified, and dressed in simple but flawless clothing. His eyes were sharp, not cruel, but heavy with experience and authority. People bowed their heads slightly as he walked through the market. Vendors lowered their voices. Even the loudest sellers became quiet. The sheikh was known for his wealth, power, and strict sense of justice. Some admired him, others feared him, but no one ignored him. He wasn't there to buy anything. Or so everyone thought. As he walked, his gaze suddenly stopped. Amina felt it before she saw him. She slowly raised her eyes and met his gaze. For a moment, the world around them disappeared. He looked at her not like everyone else had looked at her. There was no pity, no judgment, only shock, and something deeper. He stepped closer. People around them froze. Amina's heart began to beat faster. She lowered her eyes instinctively, as if she had done something wrong. The sheikh looked at the sign above her stall, then at her hands, then at her face again. Finally, he spoke. "How much does she cost?" he asked quietly. The words fell like thunder. The marketplace exploded with whispers. Amina felt as if the ground beneath her feet had disappeared. The vendor beside her laughed nervously, thinking it was some kind of strange joke. Others stared at the sheikh, waiting to see if he was serious. But the sheikh's face was calm. He wasn't joking. Amina's lips parted, but no sound came out. The man who stood beside her stall, her distant relative, the one who had brought her here, quickly stepped forward. "She is not an object, my sheikh," he said with forced respect. "But her situation is complicated." The sheikh didn't look at him. His eyes remained fixed on Amina. "How much?" he repeated, his voice firmer. Silence fell again. The man swallowed and named a sum. Amina felt tears burn in her eyes. She didn't understand what was happening. She had expected humiliation, rejection, indifference, but not this. Without hesitation, the sheikh nodded. "Bring the papers," he said. Within minutes, money changed hands. Documents were signed. People watched in disbelief. Amina felt as if she were living someone else's life. When it was over, the sheikh turned to her. "You will come with me," he said softly. She hesitated. "Do not be afraid," he added. Something in his voice wasn't cold. It was almost gentle. She took a step forward. And in that moment, her old life ended. The ride to the sheikh's estate felt unreal. Through the window, Amina watched the city disappear behind them. She didn't know whether she was being saved or trapped. When they arrived, she expected luxury and arrogance. Instead, she found silence. The estate was vast but calm, surrounded by gardens and fountains. Servants moved quietly, respectfully. No one looked at her with contempt. The sheikh led her inside himself. "You will stay here," he said. Why? She finally whispered. He looked at her for a long time. Because I saw something in your eyes, he replied. She didn't understand. Neither did he, at least not fully. Days passed. Amina was given a room, clothes, books, and time. Time she had never had before. The sheikh rarely spoke to her, but when he did, his questions were simple. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you dream of? At first, she answered cautiously. Then gradually, she began to speak honestly. She told him about her childhood, her mother who disappeared, her father who died, her relatives who treated her like a burden, and the moment she was brought to the market. The sheikh listened without interrupting. One evening, he asked her something unexpected. Do you hate me? He asked. Amina thought carefully. I was afraid of you, she said. But I don't think I hate you. He nodded slowly. Good, he said quietly. But the truth was more complicated. As days turned into weeks, Amina began to notice strange details. The sheikh watched her when he thought she wasn't looking. He asked servants about her mood. He ordered investigations into her past. And one night, she overheard a conversation that changed everything. She looks exactly like her, said one of the sheikh's advisors. Yes, the sheikh replied. That is what terrifies me. Amina felt her chest tighten. Like who? The next day, she confronted him. Who do I look like? She asked. The sheikh didn't answer immediately. Then he said, someone I once loved. The words hit her like lightning. Where is she now? Amina asked softly. The sheikh's eyes darkened. She betrayed me, he said. Silence stretched between them. Amina suddenly understood something painful. She wasn't brought here because of mercy. She was here because of a memory. Because of a ghost. That realization hurt more than anything she had experienced before. That night, she decided to leave. She packed her few belongings and walked toward the gate. But the sheikh was waiting for her. You are leaving, he said. Yes, she answered. Why? Because I am not her, Amina said quietly. And I don't want to live as someone else's shadow. The sheikh looked at her for a long time. For the first time, his confidence seemed shaken. You are right, he said slowly. Amina waited for him to stop her. But he didn't. Instead, he stepped aside. You are free, he said. She walked past him, her heart heavy but proud. She didn't look back. Days later, the sheikh stood alone in his garden. For the first time in years, he felt something he had tried to bury. Regret. He had bought her with money. But he had lost her because he never saw her as herself. And somewhere in the city, Amina walked forward into an uncertain future. She had nothing, but she had something far more valuable than wealth. Her identity, her dignity, and the quiet strength of a girl who refused to be owned by anyone's past. Sometimes, the price of a human soul is not measured in money. Sometimes, it is measured in the courage to walk away. And sometimes, love begins only after everything is lost.